Hey, welcome to BreitWerks. What are you looking at? 2004, some car made in Italy. Not 100% sure. I think they call it a 360. And if you're in Texas, a Modena. Or everywhere else in the world, Modena. What a car. Very, very pretty vehicle. We're going to do a little annual service on it. And I thought when I stopped working on Alphas, I stopped working on Italian cars. But hey, we're gonna give this one a shot. And if we find anything cool, we'll bring you along for the ride. So admittedly, I know very little about these cars, but man, this looks like Charles Leclerc just flipped the car over and we're finally getting a look at the underside. There's not a whole lot of fanciness up here in the front. I mean, this way this is kind of shaped up. Tough to see in two-dimensional camera, but same thing here. But this car is supposed to have a lot of Formula One aero stuff. And when you look back that way, you kind of see the tunnels. That's pretty cool. So for the annual service, we've got an oil drain plug under here. We've got an oil drain plug under there. I was thinking about trying to take the floor off, but I don't know. Don't think we need to do that. Maybe when the belts need to be changed, because then you can take this floor off. But hey, look, center tunnel, just like 964, 993. And then this clips in. I mean, I'm having Boxster flashbacks here, right? Ooh, all the Ferrari guys are flipping the fuck out right now. You just compared that to a Boxster? Actually drives pretty damn nice. But suspension pieces are pretty cool. I am gonna have to go do a little more research because this toe adjustment almost looks like there's rear wheel steering. I don't know if this one has rear wheel steering, but if it does, that's kind of cool. I will have to go figure that out. Definitely, I was reading something about these hubs go pretty quick, but Ferrari kind of made this as a quick change hub. And you look at it, there's not a lot of rubber, right? There is a little bit of rubber in these bushings here and up at the top with that double wishbone suspension. But as far as like quick change, yeah, that probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you get that whole hub assembly out. And you just throw a new one in. But all monoball stuff, right? No rubber. Very, very cool. All right, we're gonna keep on going. So these are the plugs in the floor pan of the Ferrari 360. And yeah, we're gonna clean these up. That's what we're doing today, besides the full service on the Ferrari. To say one thing for Ferrari, they sure don't make this easy, right? I mean, you would think you'd put a bigger hole so you don't get a mess under the tray, but hey, they are the ultimate. This guy, he's thinking about dripping back there, but no, he just spit a little. But here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part, right? So this lower pan, floor, let's use the F1 term, the rear floor, right? So it's held on by a variety of fasteners. But here's what I love. When you come over here, you can see somebody's already made a mistake here because this guy's cracked, but the floor actually surrounds the jack point, right? So over here they didn't crack it, but the floor. So what do? I mean, is this why it costs so much money to get a Ferrari oil change? You got to put it up once, take the fasteners out, get it down. We're gonna try something different, but first peek. I don't want to pull too hard. This carbon fiber has seen better days, but yeah, the floor, that's cool. We're gonna use F1 terms while we're working on Charles Leclerc's 360 Modena. All right, once that stops dripping and we can put that plug back in, we'll get to the next step. There is a filter that needs to be cleaned, not changed, just cleaned up under here. And everybody says, oh, you only have to do it, you know, every so often. But this is the first time we're seeing the car, so I have no idea when it was last done. So we are, sneak peek, we are gonna do it and make sure that we do the full job on this little lady. Damn, it's just so cool. You look at all the aero stuff, like even this is wing shaped. Well, I mean, it was wing shaped, but you've got the thick front and the thin back, right? So it's an airfoil. So they actually shaped all this stuff as airfoils. I will say they certainly paid attention to the bottom. There is no doubt about that. Very, very cool stuff. All right, I'll stop making y'all look at a black floor. So I forgot to take a video of it. I took a picture of it, but that's the filter, right? So you've got the two bolts there. So what we were able to do, instead of pulling the rear bumper, I think is what something said, but we were able to get this guy to slide down just far enough that we can get up in there. So not too much to see, kind of like a Porsche from the bottom, but still cool. So we're gonna get those nuts back on and put some oil in this car. So since it's an Italian car, of course, it requires a special wrench because the flutes on the oil filter are non-standard. I mean, they're standard if you live in Tuscany, but they're not standard if you're in the good old US of A. So we're gonna get on with that. We're gonna get that oil filter out and get the new one in. So yes, the oil filter does say Ferrari on the side of it. I think they may actually have the word Ferrari in more places than Porsche says Porsche. We used to make fun of that, but hey, look at this thing. I mean, come on. If you're a car person, you absolutely just have to love it. You have to love it. And the attention to detail, oh my goodness. Very cool. Not very much like those 1950s Alphas I used to work on. Well, that's not true. There is some stuff that they have in common. We'll get into that later. All right, well, we got her button back up on the ground. 8 quarts of oil in her. So you got an oil filter made in France and oil made in France. Do we think this might be what Leclerc's reliability problems are? Anyway, there's probably way worse ways to spend the night than listening to one of these guys idle while you wait for the oil to warm up. Sometimes I love my job. All right, we'll get back to the Porsche stuff, but hey, you know what? This is kind of damn cool. I don't know if we're gonna make a regular thing out of this though, but maybe, who knows? We'll find out. Check us out at BreitWerks.com if you want to keep up with us. Hit that subscribe button. Have a fantastic day.